Huh? It's a table full of animals. Can't be all loosey-goosey for real, eating a sandwich. Just non-stop. Seriously, shut up! Well, I got some good news, baby. Look at that. For the team. Let's go. Team Negreanu.
Do it all now, top corner like all in. Lit the fire when you doubted, now I'm all in. Put me with the best, bring the stars in. Undefeated mode, no falling.
Well, good morning, peeps. A little bit of Groundhog Day here in the bed. Watch the vlog. I always enjoy seeing what the editors do with it. It's a lot of fun. I thought the little bit they did with Huckseed swatting me, that little video made me laugh. I sent it to Huck. But it was a fun day yesterday. Really enjoying every day. I think that's part and parcel for success too. Just really like being here, and obviously like to be home at night, but you know, it's just not viable. It doesn't make sense. Getting done, what was it, like a little after 1? Having to play at 1. You know, this room is becoming clutch. I brought 20 outfits, or 20 t-shirts basically, for this month, or for this World Series, and it feels like I might run out, you know, which is fine. But yeah, we're taking a lazy day. We have been sort of every day we come here. I got what I got, you know, not that you need to see it, but I'm doing a little morning coffee. But this is after. I usually do the Huberman thing. I don't drink coffee for the first 60 to 90 minutes of the day. And I had my brekkie. I'm doing these mush overnight oats deals, and these That's It little fruit bars. Basically, these That's It fruit bars, it's just fruit. That's it. Like, that's the idea. It's like, it says on the package, like 1 apple, 12 strawberries. That's it. That's what you're eating. Okay? And they're just dried, so they're sweeter. So yeah, it's about 11, what was it? Something like that. I'm taking my time. I'm going to relax, and we're going to head over to the break room. That's where I go over there, make myself a sandwich, and then restart 1 p.m. both back over here on the Horseshoe. I believe today is 10-minute breaks. So getting to the room and back, that's a tight race, but we can do it. In the meantime, tranquilo. All right, I was just perusing. You know, I'm not on social media much during the World Series of Poker. I don't really look around, but just having a coffee in bed, and I see one of my buddies, Ben Lamb, posted a tweet. Check out this tweet he posted. I want to riff off this. This is day 2 of the most fun events at WSOP. 10K buy-in, no limit deuce. Probably wasn't as fun after I busted him, but you know. Anyway, what he says is, many amongst the elite consider this to be the most pure poker game there is, heavily focused on physical tells and live reads. If you look at the guys who tend to go deep in this every year, you see a few guys who aren't particularly adept at the nuances of the game, and there are plenty, but some live poker bosses are always in the hunt. So, what the heck's he talking about? What does that tweet really mean? Well, Deuce to 7, you know, why it's considered one of the purest games is because there's no information, really, that you see, okay? There's no flop, there's no turn, there's just my cards against your cards, and no limit. I can bet whatever I want, I can have whatever I want, it's up to you. So it really comes down to, in so many spots, does he have it or does he not? Now, there's certainly, like he said, some technical aspects to starting hands you should have, ways in which you should draw. But in the end, the crux of the skill, which is why it's one of the most highly skilled poker, like poker tournaments or poker games, ultimately it comes down to picking up reads and, you know, knowing your opponents. And you have to be doing some bluffing. One of the ways you can balance your bluffs, if you will, and I've talked about this in a Deuce to 7 video before, is to sweat the cards where you don't know what you have. Okay? So like I said, let's say you have 2, 3, 4, 5, and you look at the pips on the cards and you see that there's 3 of them. Okay, if there's 3 pips, it's a 6, 7, or an 8. Well, if you catch a 6, that's a straight. That's the worst hand you can have. You're just dead. Okay? But if you catch a 7, you have a wheel. You win. And you have an 8, you basically win. That's number 5, 5th best hand. So in a spot like this, you're 2-1 favorite, right? But if you don't look at the card and you make a really, really big bet, because usually you want to be much more polar with some of these like super strong hands, like either you're bluffing huge or you're value betting huge, right? You know, what was I saying? Yeah, so you want to have some bluffs there, right? One of the ways to balance it, you know, you're going to get a read on me. I don't know. I might be bluffing, right? I might not. And then the guy calls you and you can be like, well, let's look together, shall we? And it's almost like a semi-bluff in that case, right? Because, you might have it, you might not, and there's no way really for your opponent. Your opponent can read into when you're doing that. Having said that, if you offer a specific price, they are just forced then to play the math. So let's say, for example, you knew I looked at my card and I was 2-1 favorite, okay? And I bet exactly the pot, okay? Or let's say I bet 20% more than the pot, okay? You just fold. You just have to fold. That's the correct play. Why? Because in the long run, you'll lose money on the play. So picking the sizes is player dependent. I have to figure out who do I want to force to fold, who do I want to force make bad calls and bad folds, and I manipulate the price of my bets based on that. It's a very interesting game, very simple to learn. 5 cards, 1 draw, low, no limit. Give it a shot. You might enjoy it. All right, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so the game is for old school ground, but for you theory nerds, there's plenty of theory in this game too. Instead of randomizing your calls and folds with live reads, you can actually use your cards information, like your blockers, as information. So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's say, for example, you're in this spot where you have deuce, 3, 4, 5, and a pair of 5s. So you have a blocker, right? You both draw 1. Now you catch a 4, so you paired 4s. Let's say you got a deuce, whatever, deuce, let's say a deuce. You paired the deuce, and now the guy bets really, really big, okay? Well, as a bluff catcher, this is actually quite a good bluff catcher. Why is that? Because the bluffs are usually derived from high pairs. The high pairs are 7s, 8s, and 9s. So people typically use those to bluff. And you don't have any, so it increases the chances that you do. You also block a lot of good hands because you had a 4 and a 5. So if you're gonna call, that would be how you would use that. Other ways that you can use blockers for bluffs, because the bluffs are derived from there and another place. The other place the bluffs are driven from is when you have dealt a bunch of blockers. Let's say you were dealt deuce, 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 7, 7, or 7, 7, 7, deuce, deuce, something crazy like that, right? The odds of somebody making a very strong hand is much lower because you're removing so many of the key cards. So in those spots, you could raise, somebody calls, and then you can bet really big after the draw and really put them, to the test. So again, it's about live reads. That's a big deal, big part of it. But I'm going the wrong way. But also, there's theory, there's some math, especially as you get shorter stacked, understanding what hands to jab, to draw to, how to draw, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Anyway, enough. There's so much more I could teach you about the game. But you know what? I got to keep a couple things secret. All right, we are rearranging down to 2 tables. This is going to be the new table. And I'm going to tell you about 2 quick hands we played already. They're really not much in the hand, but I opened the button with deuce, 4, 6, 8. This is short stack goes all in on the small blind. He pats a 9. I miss. I actually caught 50-50, 8 or a 9, or 8 or a 6, and whatever, I paired. Then I open under the gun with deuce, 3, 5, 7, jack. It's a very good convertible, the best convertible, jack 7. James Chen calls on the button. The big blind goes all in short stack. My play here is not the flat. You don't want to let James in, and he's never going to be able to defend against a jam, and even if he does, I have a big draw. So I move in, right? Also, if the other guy breaks, I hold with the jack 7, because the jack 7 is a favorite over a 1-card draw, but it's an easy hand to play, because once he pats in front, jack 7's never any good. I throw the jack away, and this time we caught a 4 across. He had a 10-6, so if it was a 10, I lose, because it's a 10-7, but it was the 9. So we're down to 14. I think we will play down to, my guess is about 4 or 5 players tonight. Deep structure. And then tomorrow we'll play probably 3 levels. Level 300K big blind, I think that's number 1. And that's level 31. Doing all my math and stuff. Are you playing good today, George? No? Yes.
Bad start.
Good stuff. I love hearing that. Okay, you're doing terrible today.
Yeah.
Because you had more money before.
I did, I'm down.
All right, let's go. All right, let's talk about a hand right now just against James Chen. It's kind of an interesting spot. You can go a couple ways with it. I know how some people would play it, and I know how I would play it, and I play both ways. All right, the blinds are 10 and 20 with a 30 big blind, 30 ante. I have a beautiful hand. Deuce, 3, 4, 7, jack. Okay, so the best draw with a jack 7 convertible if need be. Make it 50. James Chen from the button makes it 175. He has about 800 back. My choice here is never fold. It's a question of do I want to bluff here? If I'm not bluffing this hand, right? Probably not bluffing this spot. You know, in terms of like re-raising out of position and drawing. That's like the best one you can have. Thought about it for quite a while, and I said it's going to take a little bit of the lower variance route for a few reasons. Just called, paired the deuce. He had 9, 7, 6, 5, 3. So it would have worked if I would have re-raised all in. He can't draw to 3, 5, 6, 7, and it's not good enough for him to defend. So whatever. I would have picked up a couple $100K, but you know, if he happened to have an 8 or a 9, it's just abject disaster, right? That's kind of some of the spots where I know a lot of guys just go like, "Oh, no, you don't need that. I'm doing fine." I'm like chip leader at my table. Do I really need to just YOLO gamble? Just saw a big hand right now. You always got to be perceptive. The hand where I didn't do that against him, definitely the right play. He just made a play right now that's not a good play. Darren raised the button. He 3-bet the small with 3, 4, 6, 7. It's not a very good hand for 200. The big blind jam folds back to him. He called 3, 4, 6, 7. As it turns out, he was live, but he lost the pot. But just knowing that makes me feel much better about not jamming the deuce 3, 4, 7. All right, we got 1.35. There's 12 players remaining. We're gonna motor to the room, grab ourselves a coffee, push through this thing. Couple 3-bets in a row. I don't want to tell you this one because some stuff these people might watch from on. I don't want to tell you. There's some other cool things that I do in this game that I think make a whole lot of sense. I don't know if Yuri would approve, but I think he would because he likes that play. He definitely likes this play for sure. Nothing. Hey, how you doing?
No, not too
Yes,
bad.
actually I am. I promise. Swear. You can ask the
You
floor.
have your credentials?
Yes. Thanks. Okay. No, I don't. But whatever. You're actually allowed. I don't know why she thinks that. It's okay. It's fine. All right. Off we go to the break. What am I going to get? Coffee, and then what? Yeah. And then we keep on trucking. 12 left. What else did I say? Anything else interesting happen? No. Spice. Oh, I did pay off Darren Elias in one spot. I raised deuce 3, 6, 7, jack. I think he's drawn behind me, but I'm not sure. So you don't want to like pat that jack. I drew one, caught a queen. I checked, he bet. After one card draw, paid that one off. He had a 9-7, so onwards. Just for clarification, based on the thing just happened right there. That's not a thing. You're walking down the hallway, you have your phone, you're allowed to FaceTime, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You're allowed to film your face. I don't know where she got that. She just, probably was told something. That happens sometimes. Go to the higher ups. Happened to a buddy of mine the other day with a chip color up. Tyler Brown. He had a little brouhaha, but it worked out. All right, put some stevia in that. Let's go. But yeah, you're allowed to walk in the hallways with your phone and, whatever. I promise. All right, the break was longer than expected. I'd say one of the biggest blessings of doing really well in the deuce to 7 is I don't have to deal with this. Look. This is what's going on in 50K. Let me show you. Just non-stop. This guy. Non-stop annoying. Oh, he's been quiet now that I turn the camera. Yeah, 50K right here.
You just registered and double up. Sweet life, yeah? Sweet life. Huh? Second bullet. You must be very rich, like Mr. Kenius.
Okay, there we
Maybe
go.
like
50K going on. There's Mr. Philip Ivey. Look at that. How you doing, son? Huh? Having fun this World Series?
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely. Huh?
You look blissful right now.
Huh?
You look so happy. You look like so full of energy and happiness. Huh? Did you do your yoga this morning? Ice bath, the whole deal? Huh?
Huh?
All right, we're going to break. I got 800K. We're 9 left. Didn't really make any hands. Haven't made any hands today. I made a lot of hands this tournament earlier on. Today wasn't the day so far, but still got plenty of chips. The issue is we're four-handed. Patience. I made 3 river calls. One for 125, another for 125, another for 150. They had it all 3 times. So, you know, but I'm fine with each call in terms of the blockers that I had or whatever. But you know, you can't just always fold. I'm okay with all three generally. Like I thought about all three. There's no oopsie here. It's just, I mean, I guess in this game you could always say, well, you were wrong. He had it, you know. But that's difficult with good players. They don't give off that much. So yeah, grab a snack, head right back. I feel so very calm. I mean, big blind's gonna be 30K. I got 800. It's plenty. Well, I got some good news, baby. Look at that. Right there, very first hand back. I'm in the big blind. Darren raises the button 3 bets. I have big blind, 9-7, perfect. 9-7 deuce 3-4. Ship it. He, the re-raiser calls. I pad, of course. And he pads behind with a 10-8. So he could have drawn maybe and beat me, but we got 1.6. We're average. We're average. 9 to go. Okay, they're moving us. Just paid the guy off again for 175. It's like every single time. And this time I was like, he must have an 8 again. He's had it every single time. But he made a mistake against me. There's no question. When I jam there, even though it's 4-handed and pat, so I'm not bluffing, right? You have 10-8. Like, chances are against the raise and the re-raise that I'm going to be stronger than that. You break the 10, draw to the 8, give yourself a chance. Because what are you hoping I have? You're just hoping I have like a 10-9 YOLO? It's certainly possible. Far more likely is I came nutted because it's old Dean eggs, you know, tight is right. We're going to a new table over here. The final 8. 8-handed deuce to 7. That's 40 cards plus a burn card is 41. That only leaves 11. So George, you're gonna have to change the way you play because you got to stop drawing 4.
Just draw 1?
Well, you're drawing 4, he's drawn 3, and then he's drawn 3. We got no more cards left.
Is there like a community card at the end, or how do we do it?
We'll figure it out. But like, how about just stop drawing 4?
All right.
Okay, it's not that good a play. I don't know why you do it every single time.
It's been working. What can I do?
I'm kidding. He doesn't draw 4, okay? Where am I?
Seat 1.
Okay, seat 1. Phone's gonna go away because we're at the final table now, and I know the rules and I follow the rules, okay? There. Bye.
That means no headphones?
No, not during the final table, I think. Yep.
I'm going to communicate that to everybody
Okay.
Real quick. I'm going to wait for all parties involved in the final to come back. We can go ahead and unrack those chips.
Off to break we go. 8-handed for the entire level. Lose the player. We're not going to. 8-handed. A couple things about it is, number 1, plays way more. You got to respect the 8-handed. A lot more hands out there. Can't be all loosey-goosey for real, eating a sandwich. Other thing we got at our table is a table full of animals. Anybody's game. We're super deep. I wish you would have done this when I was there. Instead, like when I said on the break, leave me alone because it's my break. And she's like, no, I'm going to wait till this break because I want to be on the thing. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. I love you. Oh, I love you too. All right, we'll do the picture. You want to do the picture? Okay, let's do the picture. Hold on. As I was saying, whatever I was saying. I don't remember now. No. So there's 8-hand, all animals. Here's the thing. Super deep structure, like I told you. There's 8 left, and we're definitely not playing it out tonight. We'll probably still have like 4 or 5 players left, for sure, going on to day 4. We have 1.27, which is, I think, second shortest or whatever. But again, it's 32 big blinds, and we're 8-handed. So plenty of time to maneuver and continue. And Darren's over here, so I can't tell him all my strategies right now because he's listening, right? He's probably a little more hot and bothered going into dinner. Steamed up. He just lost a big one to Chatty. What are you gonna do? All right, dinner break, chillax, little napski, and then we back to work. It's gonna be a grind. This is gonna be a battle, ladies and gentlemen. All the animals out to eat each other.
Welcome to PokerGo's coverage of the 56th annual World Series of Poker. And tonight, the spotlight is on one of the game's most elite and unforgiving formats, the $10,000 buy-in, no-limit deuce to 7 low-ball championship. Record-setting year for this prestigious event. Nearly $500,000 awaits the winner. The story runs even deeper than that. Nick Schulman up on top of the chip counts, going for bracelet number 7. Daniel Negreanu is also here, going for bracelet number 8. My name is Donnie Peters. I have the one and only Joe Stapleton alongside of me.
Hello, my babies.
Let's go. Am I one of your babies?
You, of course, were one of my babies, my friend.
Let's go.
I don't discriminate. You're all my babies, unless you opt out, which is fine. Just send it to me in triplicate.
There we see the one and only Daniel Negreanu. His second final table of the summer. Joe commentated on the first one, the
Ooh,
$10,000 buy-in Omaha high-low. That
A
Negreanu
near
got.
miss.
Yeah, he got second place in. We'll see what happens here. He's got kind of a murderer's row of players in this game. Dan Smith we see here, excellent in this format. We know Chad Eveslage as well. Nick Schulman, I mean, might just be the greatest deuce player in the history of the game. Darren Elias, no slouch. George Alexander, Ben Yu, Oscar Johansson as well.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how this game works. Donnie, don't call me David Peters.
That's right.
How many cards? 5 cards. You get to draw 1 time. I assume that's in the name of the game. Single draw.
Correct. 5 cards dealt. Best hand, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
You get 2 5K stuck on your
without a flush. Don't want a flush.
Flushes
gonna
and straights hurt you in this game.
Yep. Only going to draw 1 time. Aces are high.
And everyone's kind of waiting for people to go broke. And there's not, we haven't seen a lot of 3-betting. We're seeing a lot of flatting pre. And people they're not trying to play big pots right now. Darren opens 4 to a 6 draw. Very good draw. Very good draw. Nick has a bad hand. He's going to fold. Let's see what Chad does. And look at Chad. Snap folds, a really poor draw. And Daniel's 100% going to peel here. One thing about Daniel's game, Daniel is very deceptive. He's very tricky. He slow plays big hands a lot. In this spot, he's got 4 to a 9 in the big blind. It's going to go 1-1. Let's see who catches what. Okay. Now, again, we talked about this earlier. Daniel paired his 5. But the problem is he's in the big blind. And so it's not a great spot to necessarily bluff.
You're watching me watch my card?
Did you do anything yet?
Not yet.
Oh.
You're like, I can tell you're looking to see how I'm going to look at my card.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but just fucking focus. You got good focus. Look at this guy. He's really dialed in, You're trying to sneak one. He can't. He's looking the whole time. I got to, divert him. Well, what's that over there? Can't do it. All right. Hold on. Let me.
So.
Can't. How do I die?
In my opinion, I
so dialed in. Damn it.
I doubt Daniel's going to bluff at this just because he's in the big blind. Even though his draw is stronger than what it's supposed to be, it's harder to get a bluff through when you're in the big blind. I expect him to check and give up here. And I expect Darren to just check behind and be happy to check back the queen. And there it is. Yeah. And
check. Darren's going to table this queen and win another.
And like I said before, there's not a lot of bluffing going on. There's not a lot of 3-betting going on. It's a lot of standard play.
Nope. You were just, Hawkeye.
Raised under the gun.
Pipe down. Seriously. Shut up.
Dan Smith could have flatted with a big hand just because he didn't 3-bet. So Dan Smith, the whole hand is very interesting. I want to see what Dan made.
Well, while this is going on, Martin Cabral is over in the 50K high roller, yapping away, and Dean X is scolding him.
There's a lot of play here. There's no chance that this finishes tonight. But look what Daniel just did there. So look at that, right? He's got 1.1 in chips. He folds a 9-8 draw. But again, look at his awareness of his position. If Daniel was on the button, he probably wouldn't have folded the 9 draw. But he now knows that there's a short stack like Alexander behind him that's going to move in here with a wide range.
Eveslage opened here to 80K.
Yeah.
Alexander found a 10-8 and goes with it for 430. He's all in. And Chad's got a nice draw to the nuts here.
Now this is interesting because a 10 is a win for Chad. He needs a 10, 9, 8, 6, 3 are all wins for Chad.
10. The 10-8 versus
Alexander stands pat, and they show the cards, and then Chad's going to sweat his final card here.
So I don't know the exact percentages here, but I would say that Alexander's probably like a 60% favorite. Maybe a little more, 63%.
Good game.
9-7.
Good game, guys.
Eveslage pulls a 9, and with that, he's going to eliminate George Alexander in 8th place. Alexander out the door, $45,833.
All right, we busted out the light glasses, the whole deal, ready for a big run. We're 7-handed. If you're watching, you're seeing nothing from me. I defended the blind twice, drew 1, paired. just now. Nick drew twice against me. One time he bet. Maybe he bluffed me off a yak, but I don't think so. And if he didn't have a yak is a jack. You don't know. And yeah, we're hanging in there. What do we got? 680, and the big's gonna be 50. So we are the shortest. There's another guy kind of short too. But again, we're not doing the ICM thing. We're trying to win, just not getting any hands. You got to get some tickets. Now's the time.
Now, and again, I would say half the people at this table aren't even that experienced in no-limit single draw. You know, Nick has the most experience. He has the best feel. You know, a lot of people, Nick just made that 9-8-7 in small blind. A lot of people would bet it. He checked it and got the most money by getting someone to bluff.
I got a really important question for you, actually. What did you have at Mastro's? Did you get the butter cake?
It's funny. I wanted it, and then I had to leave.
You knew you had to perform. You don't want to have a big gut coming in.
I had a company dinner for Blaise, and I didn't make it to the butter cake. The butter cake's one of the greatest desserts ever, though. Now look at this for Chad here on the button. He's got 2 deuces, which is very important. He has a 9-7 draw. And, okay.
It's on the white near you. That's like a black mark.
Now, Daniel has a very interesting decision. Daniel just hates.
Just fold it.
Daniel's going to jam here. All in for 605.
And I like it. And Chad's forced to call. Yeah.
Chad makes the call. Daniel quickly pitches that ace. He's going to draw 1. Of course, Chad's going to draw 1 as well.
I have a better. See. Let me know what I got to make. Just catch a 9, and then it doesn't have to matter.
Yeah, why root for your card when you can root against your opponent?
Sweat time.
The
Well,
king
we can
for
see
Daniel?
that. Yeah, we can see Daniel gets a king.
97.6, so I have to catch a 7.
All right, so Daniel's out of the tournament.
Good game, Daniel.
Good game, Daniel.
I never had a hand.
Chad grabs a 6, and we're going to lose Daniel Negreanu in 7th place.
Wow.
No shot.
Another final table here at the 2025 World Series of Poker for Daniel Negreanu, but gold bracelet number 8 is going to have to wait. He's going to collect $61,200 for his finish.
Life-changing money for Daniel Negreanu.
Yeah, Daniel, never really got much going. I think his shove there was completely standard off a button raise. Daniel's, it's frustrating when you're short. It's hard to make a hand. This is a game where it's actually very hard to make a hand. Good game to Daniel. You're going to see a lot more final tables out of him, I believe, this summer.
And there she does it, ladies and gentlemen. If you watch the final table on PokerGO, what you would have seen was I never had better than a yak at any point. I never drew better than the jack. I never had a 10, never had a 9, never had any real good draws. So once again, this is one of those where, looking back, kind of like the second when I came in Omaha 8, just nothing I could do. I'll tell you what, I ran good late on day 1, ran good all day 2, made a lot of hands today, ran out of gas, just didn't make any. So again, no regrets, no disappointment in that finish. I hung in as long as I could. When Chad raises the button here, he's gonna open pretty wide. And what I have, deuce 4, 6, 9, a pretty good 9-6 draw. Hopefully, the goal is, okay, we get the folds, and if not, we draw. We were drawing better than he was, so we were the favorite when the money went in. But once he catches the 7, tough sled from there. You got a king, no dice. But yeah, the only hand that I could have done anything, which is not a bluff, it's, you guys might see, is I raised, with 3, 6, 7, 10. Nick Schulman took 2. Every time he took 2, he made something. And he checked. I made a pair of 3s. Thing is when he draws 2, 3s are just good. They're not the pairs to bluff. You bluff like the ones you can't win, like 8s, 7s, but 3s have showdown value. Say he has like deuce 4, 5. That means he has 2 cards to catch. Pair of 4s, pair of 5s, or running pair, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. What else could I do with that? That was just kind of card dead, as you saw. Completely card dead. I mean, you could see, some people might say, oh, you could just call with the 9-6 draw. It's too strong a draw against the button raise. If the raise had come from early, like Darren, now I might just call. Yeah, actually, I probably would have. Because under the gun ranges, they're going to be much stronger than button. But against button, just, it's the best hand I'd seen too, for real. And that's that. Now we have to go regroup, figure out what's next. All right, peace. Alrighty. Dean Eggs is working hard. He needs his rest time. But I took a look at the schedule. There is a $100,000 buy-in, no limit hold'em event tomorrow at noon. However, right now, can late reg the 10K PLO8 championship. Okay? And I've been crushing these 10Ks. Like I bubbled one, soft bubbled, 3 out of the money, cashed every other one. So I think that's the play. We're going to go in. But right now they're playing level 7. What I think I'm going to do is I'll just kind of relax up here through level 8. And then just play the last 2 hours, 9 and 10. There is one rebuy, which means, oh shit. Whee! But what the hell is that? No, I thought it was a spider. Oh, piece of lint. Ah! Okay, so we're just going to relax in the room for a minute. And then head on over to the Paris side. Not going to lie. I don't know if it's the bed or whatever, but my back is all the muscles are sore. It's weird. It's like something I've never really experienced before. And I really think it's as simple as I got to actually just go to the joint and give me like an adjustment. Because I need an adjustment, and that'll be good because it's a lot. Man, nothing. Again, I'm not even kidding to you. Like, watch it. If you watch, you see. Nothing I could have done. C'est la vie. That's such a count as such is life. Such is life. So as I've said, I've been really good about no late night snacking, but I was very, very tired tonight. Pounded a couple of these guys. Pounded almost a whole bag of this, which isn't even so bad. The Hippies chickpea, it's like 400 or 500 calories. But I needed something, It's about 10:30. I got to get some energy to go play some PLO 8 or better. Yeah, sleep has been, it's just been tough to find because we've been playing late, up early, but this is a very crazy part of the schedule. I just looked at it. I'm like, oh my God, there's when will I be home again? This is crazy. There's a 100K, there's a 250K, there's a this, there's that, there's a 10K big O, there's a 10K limit hold'em, there's a 10K. Holy smokes, bro. First 2 days, nothing. And now, sheesh. Pedal to the metal, nose to the grindstone, all those things. We just got to keep on trucking. We got a shot now. We got 3 good cashes. We're working up our Player of the Year resume. Doing good for our fantasy team as well. Knocking on the door. A lot of side bets. Keep the team rolling. Got to be team captain, I got to represent. I got to pull my weight for the team. Let's go, Team Negreanu. All right, new table here in the PLO8, and I'm curious, sir. I played with you for like 10 minutes, so I'm wondering, do you have rich parents, grandparents, trust fund?
Source of funds would have to be cryptocurrency.
Oh, you're one of them crypto kids. You just you gambled, boom, boom, click buttons. You bought fart coins and memes and all that. NFTs.
My coin is Litecoin.
Okay, we're not doing a promo here. Okay, this is not a promo. This is not your opportunity.
It's the longest.
To chill.
It's the longest coin. It's not a shit coin. It's a kind of a shit coin. But,
so where'd you get the money to buy that shit?
My source of income has to do with. I get tons of I would say crypto. So I get.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, you ever heard a worse answer ever? Where did you get the money to get the crypto? Or the crypto magically fell from the sky?
Affiliate.
Okay. Nice. Cool.
You
sell strong. Look at my hand here.
You just shoved and you folded and you had nothing. All you had was a draw.
But we got 133.5. Played for 2 hours. Start with 60. I had it actually up to 170 for a second. My man over here, he's just he's saying the word pot a lot. That wasn't a good hand.
But I had a king.
Yeah, but what do you think he has?
All right, guys. Name and chip count on the bag.
Anyway, it was fun playing with you, pal. Good luck tomorrow. He bagged again. Let's go. All right. He wanted to be on the vlog. Now he's on the vlog. And that's the end of the vlog. I'm tired. Let's go. Going to bed. Staying here again. See ya.